Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Change the Shed. It is Wednesday, September 11, 2024. Happy you're here. I'm in my studio in southwestern Colorado, and I'm happy that those of you who are here could make it. It's been a hot minute, as they say, since we did Change the Shed. I think the last one was the end of July, so welcome back. It is September in Colorado. It looks like y'all are coming in from all over. Janice from Oregon, Barbara from San Diego, Paula's here from the UK. Awesome. Mary's here from Wisconsin. And from Maryland, Christine from Ottawa, Canada. Linda from Southern California, where it's finally getting cooler. That's good. Brenda here's from Pennsylvania. Paula from the Northeast Kingdom in Vermont. I understand that, Paula, having visited there a few times. Renee from Massachusetts. And Cheryl from Maryland. Margarita from Sweden. And Samantha from Ireland. Welcome, everybody. Terry's here from Philadelphia. Happy you're all here. Those of you who have YouTube accounts can ask questions or comment. An account is called a channel, but you don't have to actually make videos or post them. So if you want to interact, you can make a YouTube account. And if you already have a Google account, it's just one more button because, of course, YouTube is owned by Google. Nan is here from Woodstock, New York. Welcome, Nan. I don't really have any announcements beyond you should join the Tapestry Discovery Box if you have not already. It is there. The one from July is going great. It's been a lot of fun. We work on vertical curves and forms, so it's kind of an important concept. I even show you a little bit about how to make a circle if you're interested in that. And then the October box opens in mid-October. So October 15, that box comes out. So jump on the Tapestry Discovery Box if you'd like. It comes with yarn from Gist Yarn Array. The other thing I'll just say is that September and the fall is a great time to do some study. So if you're interested in diving into tapestry and learning more about all the tapestry techniques, if you're a beginner, I would recommend you look into my Warp and Weft class. If that class seems like a little bit too much to bite off, it's a very comprehensive class. Look at Weaving Tapestry on Little Looms, or even the Introduction to Tapestry Weaving class is a great way to get started. So great way to spend some time weaving in the fall. I find that a lot of people actually are working quite hard in the classes in the fall, so that's kind of fun. It's a good time to weave, and winter also can be a good time to weave. But all right, welcome, Carol. Marlena's here from Texas. Carol's here from Kentucky. Helen from England, where it's getting cold. Isn't it always cold in England, Helen? Sorry. I think that it's generally colder there. It's also farther north, quite a lot farther north than we think, than where I am. So, of course, it's going to be colder. Oh, good. Linda says she's working on her circles right now, as in unweaving one. Well, that happens too. Learning so much. Thanks, Linda. Glad you are working on all the things. Jen's here from Rhinebeck, New York. Of course, all of the fiber people think about Rhinebeck as the place of the New York Sheep and Wool Festival, which I have not yet been to, but one day, Jen, I will get to your hometown. All right, so today I have a different piece you haven't seen before, and I have mixed emotions about which may or may not come out. But here it is. It is white. It is a little bit white, which is part of my mixed emotions, I think. Anyway, it is, it's a four-selvedge piece. So the top of the piece is right here. You can just see the orange of the fringeless piece. So I'm about a third of the way through. Let's see if I can find the cartoon. I don't think I've showed this on Change the Shed before. I haven't, because I didn't start it till August. Just a super simple design. I wanted a curve in dark colors. This is a little bit of a rock stack maybe. And that's what I'm playing with. And we'll see how that goes. I actually ripped a bunch out yesterday because I had woven this at the little rock stack thing at 8 EPI. So this is 8 ends per inch on a fringeless four-selvedge warp. And I didn't like it because I wanted more detail. I wanted it to be more delicate. So of course the fringeless warp gives you the potential to split the warp. So I decided I would try it at 16. So that's what you see here, is that area is woven with the fringeless warp split. And I like it better. We'll see when I'll finish it this way, I think, and see what I think. It's fussy to weave on split warps on a fringeless warp because they're all connected. And so fortunately this form is only about this big. And then after that, it'll all be 8 EPI. Yes, Marlena says it's unusual for me to weave with white. It is. This is the same combination I used in that wildflowers piece in the background that I did on my big loom like 2.5 years ago now. And I had more of this left over. This is 3 of the bleached Faru yarn and 1 silk from Treenway Silks. And I had some, which I just plied together on my spinning wheel, and I had a ball of it left over. I was like, oh, I'm going to use that. So here we are. Oh, good. Thanks for the clarification, Helen. She says it's not always cold in the UK, but it is wet. So there we go. All right. So there are, of course, in all things tapestry, you have to work an area at a time. A bit of a mess here with all of these wefts. I'm going to fill this in because I need this to come across so that I can keep working on that area. So let's see if we can get that. I'm going to see if I can give you more light or give myself more light. Okay. Sorry, that looks weird in the picture of my face, but probably doesn't matter. And we're going to have the camera. My arm's going to be right in front of the camera. I wish there was a way to have a camera that you like put on your chest that was stable. That would be probably a good thing for this. Although it will only be stable if I wasn't moving, so that's probably not possible. I know they have those for, like, chefs use them and stuff when they're video taping their creations. I usually pick the warp when I am doing this. This is on a Merrick's loom. It's a Merrick's, I think it's called the Zac. It's the 22-inch loom. It's actually my favorite Merrick's just because it's wide enough that it's super versatile. I have 2 of them and I use them a lot. I'm actually using them both right now. I wanted to start another piece on a Zac loom, but we'll have to finish this one first. I guess that's probably good that I have to finish this before I can start the next piece. Anyway, you can do four-selvedge tapestry on a Merrick's, the classic Merrick's looms, which are the ones with the shedding devices. So I don't use the shedding device a lot for fringeless because it does work, but I find once you've started the weaving and have it real, like if I added the shedding device right now, maybe I will do that and just test it. Because the warps are doubled, the action of the shedding device tends to try to make them walk. And that messes up your fringeless warp. A lot of the times when I'm doing fringeless, it's small things, and I am sort of fussing with little shapes anyway, so I don't need the shedding device, but I have found that the electric treadle is not advisable for fringeless four-selvedge warps. The Murex electric treadle, because it moves so fast that it really makes the warps walk. It really jerks it jerks everything, which makes by walk they're getting shifted, and so then the tops of the tops all jiggity, as Sarah Swat would say. All right. That's kind of annoying, isn't it? There. All right. Should have maybe done a little bit more of this. I was going to fill this in this morning before getting online, but had some technical difficulties today. My computer decided to shut down. Actually, it crashed, which is rare. It's a Mac, and the crashing thing is very rare, but then the FaceTime camera has been giving me trouble, so hopefully it doesn't cut out. I guess if it does, you can still hear me. Okay, so I just brought that over eccentrically, and now I'm filling this in. There's a slit there, as you can see, because there's a little bit of a, I think you can probably see this. Yeah, there's some squares of mixed color. So instead of the silk, here I have the white mixed with a light. These are all array colors. It looks like I don't have that pink right here, but the lightest array colors. I often have so many projects going at once. I need a color, especially an array with the Tapestry Discovery Box. I'll need a color for something else, and I'll grab it, and then I'm like, I come back to this project, and I'm like, oh, where did that color go? So there you have it. That's what happened here. Oh, good. That's going to be in the right shed. Great. Okay. Gudrun is here from Iceland. That's awesome. I really enjoyed my time in Iceland and would love to go back sometime. I feel like it's always a bit cold in Iceland, even in the summer, but it's all relative, right? I live in the southwestern United States where it is often very hot in the summer. Can't really compare that to the Arctic Circle or just south of the Arctic Circle. Bronwyn's here from Vancouver. Good to see you, Bronwyn. Happy to have you join. Okay, so that, I was hoping that shedding would work out. I think I planned it that way, but it's been a while, so I don't really remember. So I could bring that over the top, and everything is still in meet and separate. There's an open shed rod. You can't see it up at the top of the loom. I've actually taken to using the Mirax warping bars as the open shed rod. It's about the right size that I can just get my fingers in there. Welcome, Jessica from Illinois. Okay. I started this thing when I was working, this curve that goes around when I was working on the Tapestry Discovery box that's open right now. I was like, oh, I'm going to play with these curves some more. This was not a piece that I was doing for the Discovery box, but once you start working on something like that, sometimes it gets in your head and you have to keep playing with whatever idea it was. Hilly's here from the Netherlands. Hooray! I have friends who have family in the Netherlands, and they go there fairly often, and they're from Europe. And I have a bad habit of calling the country, the Netherlands, Holland, which is actually a state in the Netherlands, because my grandmother lived in Holland. Grandparents lived in Holland for a while. My grandpa was working there, so they were there like 3 years. And my grandma always called it Holland, and so that's in my head from when I was a kid. And so I have to retrain myself to call the country the Netherlands. All right, here we are, finally back up to a spot that might be interesting. Okay, so here I've split the warps. I even split the warp with the white to try to get that to cover a little bit. I don't know how much I'm gonna like that, but that might be all right. Oh yeah, that might be okay. If this little white part, because that's much thicker, ends up poking forward, you can do a lot with a sewing to keep it. Yes, see, Hilly, that's what I have to keep reminding myself. Holland is just part of the country. It's like we have Colorado. Well, you wouldn't call, you wouldn't equate Colorado to the United States. It's a state. Anyway, that's my association in my head anyway. Okay, I think that's gonna work. Sorry, I always pick with my left hand, but that puts my hand right in front of the camera. Oh, and I need to think about my next little block. Let's do that right there. Left myself 3 warps there. We're going to put another of these colored blocks in there. And let's see, I've got purple there, green, yellow, peach. I think this is the ocean. Let's see what else I've got. Let's use this violet because it's right here. This is violet 6. Just array. And I'm realizing that I need, here's some, the white yarn. So this is, if you're interested, it's no longer made by Borgs. They went out of business, but there's another company called Clippin. If you go to like Eugene Textile Center or probably the Woolery or other places that carry Swedish yarn, it's sold by a company named Clippin, but it's the same yarn. I like it a lot. one strand of that array with 3, which you can't see, 3 of the Swedish yarn. Oh, well, you turn on Do Not Disturb on your phone and it still makes noise. Oh, I know why, because if you have particular people set that can text through, then they can do that. All right, sorry about that. Let's do, just gonna weave this little block. One, 2, 3. All right. If I put this yarn on tapestry bobbins, I wouldn't be tempted to shove it in with my fingers. This black is actually Weaver's Bazaar black, which is blacker than the array black is. And I think that actually has to do a lot, not with the dye so much as the fiber. It looks blacker because of the fiber that Weaver's Bazaar uses versus array. It's also a different yarn construction. The Weaver's Bazaar is more tightly twisted, and all of that makes a difference in how the material looks. Materials matter. I'm gonna write a book called Materials Matter. All right, actually I probably could leave that for the moment and we could work on this double set thing, which might be interesting. If you go back, if you haven't been watching Change the Shed from the beginning, which some people have, bless you all, those of you who have wow, I cannot do two things at once. I can't talk and weave. If you've watched Change the Shed from the beginning, you saw me do the hot flash and the hand basket pieces closer near the beginning. Those were both double set pieces. So I wove on the hand basket for a long time. And if you go back to I call them the show notes. If you go on my website under Change the Shed, you'll find all the past episodes with thumbnails, and the hand basket piece has a basket in it. So watch that one if you're interested in seeing more of the double set. By double set, I mean I'm weaving at 8 and 16 at the same time. The hand basket pieces, hand basket and the other one were not a fringeless four-selvedge. They were actually warped on purpose with a doubled warp. So it's a little bit easier to weave than on a four-selvedge. Okay. I'm just referring to my cartoon for how I'm going to put this in. Let's see, I want the 16 EPI one in the next line to go all the way over to here. Jen, yeah. Always. Happy to chat. Jen says she's a book editor. In another life, you know, people who like books, we're always saying, oh, I wish I had been a librarian or a research librarian or something, but okay, you can see why this is fussy, because it only opens to there. So it would be hard to do a double set piece the whole way on Fringeless, but I can tell you it's super useful if you're doing things like, and Sarah Sweat actually demonstrates this a lot in the Fringeless, or a few times in the Fringeless class. You can split the warp just for a little bit to make things work out. So to make a form look smoother or something, you can split the warp like this. So yeah, we have a whole class about how to, you don't really need to see my head. We have a whole class, Sarah and I, about how to do this four-selvedge warping. Okay, what was I doing here? I'm using this Hoket shed stick because it's the pointiest shed stick I have. I don't want to draw the fiber through a closed warp, so using a shed stick will help with that. Let's see. At some point, I'm going to want that to move over. I've got 2 sequences there. I'm sorry, this is probably really hard to see. Let's see if I can fix this. Be able to give you a better view. Okay, see if that's better. So this is 2 strands of Weaver's Bazaar Fine, which is thinner than Array. And I'm using, there we go. All right, what was I doing there? Sometimes if you stop in the middle of something, obviously, I'm going to take this out a little bit. Okay. Let's see. I want to bring that over, but maybe right now. Sometimes I debate about stuff that isn't actually going to make that big a difference, so bear with me a second. I know you can't see that. All right, so I have split this warp, and I'm gonna, this is sort of the edge of a rock stack, so it doesn't matter if it's uneven, but I'm gonna bring this color back over to here. So I did all of that, and then all the way to there. Oh, and I had a tapestry bob. fun, you guys. Sometimes you need just the right tool. I'm finishing up the shooting for the next Tapestry Discovery box, and I have a different space that I've been using for that, and that's where some of my tools are. Including that tapestry bobbin I was looking for. I think that's a good attitude, Barbara. Barbara and Jessica were talking about an issue, a weaving issue, and Barbara said, I'm beginning weaver, so I have to have every problem at least once. So I recognize it exists, and I feel like this is true. Those of you who've taken a lot of my classes know that I often go on about I talk about being an adult beginner, which is very hard for many of us. But learning tapestry, you have to learn the motor skills. And we forget that. We're just so good because our brains work. We think, oh, I should be able to learn this like that. And we forget that it is not that easy. There are motor skills involved. There's a lot of concepts in tapestry weaving. And don't forget that the tapestry workshops have apprenticeships that are, I think now the apprenticeships are 3 or 4 years to learn the trade before you work on official pieces like the Dovecot or the Australian Tapestry Workshop. They used to be 7 years. So if you expect yourself to understand how everything works and be very good at it in 6 months, then you're fooling yourself. It's a process, and I hope that it's worth some commitment to learn it. Also, it's just supposed to be fun. Unless you want to have your work in the MoMA, it might not matter that much if there's some mistakes. It's still going to be lovely. Okay. Let's do this outline. It's probably really hard to see this. I kind of wish this were a little bit darker color, but I might shift it to a different hue up in the next one. That's what I could do. One more wrap around that. And to remind myself, sometimes I'll actually leave a sticky note if I'm going to walk away and have to remember something, but sometimes it pays to put something in, even if it's a temporary, like I want this white to go here. And even if I end up adjusting that later, it's helpful to start it so I remember. Okay. This is, let's see, go to there. That's a great one, Helen. In my studio, I have a woven banner saying, if you have never made a mistake, you have never tried anything new. And wouldn't that be sad if we never tried anything new? I'm also kind of one of those, I want to try it. I'm a jack of all trades in terms of I'm happy to try a lot of stuff and not be good at it. There are things I want to be good at, but sometimes we just do stuff for the fun of it, right? We can split that for this white. So one of the reasons this works, and I talked about this a lot when I wove the handbasket piece, is that this is a very fluffy yarn. In the handbasket, I used Kohler singles for the 8 EPI, I think, pretty sure. It's a fluffy yarn, so there's an interface between where you're going using 16 and where you're using 8. And where they meet, things are a little bit wonky. So using this fuzzy yarn sort of covers that up. How do I compensate for the warp twist? Great idea, Karina. Yeah, these just tend to twist. As I weave, in general, I'm only weaving, I'm weaving with the full thing. So the idea of the four-selvedge is that the warp is doubled because there's a supplemental warp at the top. When I get to the top, it will be all finished. I'll take it off and there's no hem or anything. So in general, it's not a problem because I'm using this as one warp. I am untwisting it to do this, but it'll continue twisting after. It doesn't matter, I guess, is what I'm saying. In the Fringeless class, we talk about taking the twist out before you put the last row in where you're securing the loops. Running the twist out of the warp that's in the weaving. But honestly, I don't actually think it really matters whether you do that or not. I don't think the twist is a problem. I don't need to compensate for it in any way. I'm just using them as one warp, if that makes at all any sense. I'm gonna bring this over. I'm just hatching with the white and this is just one strand of the Swedish yarn, the Faru. I'm just doing a little bit of hatching with that in the mix with the silk and the array. Okay, this might be about the end of this, and we'll just have time to put this outline in, I think. Let's see. How shall I do that? I think I will take this out. I don't usually like to use needles. They annoy me because they fall off. Right, I'm actually going to take these needles off for a second. Oh, my needle block is also in the other, in my video space. All right, now let's do this outline. Oh, this might be a shedding problem. Is indeed a shedding problem. I remember from the last outline I fudged it, and I was like, when I get to the next one, I'm going to fix that. Here we are on camera at the next one. You know what? I'm going to add one more wrap and leave it as a float on the back, and it will work. Now, of course, to make a line that is not dotted, ooh, that would be interesting. I said the word dot. Hold on. Let's do this. I'm going to open the shed, but I'm going to skip some of these at the edge. So I went behind right here. So this part will be dotted and this will be solid. And I'm gonna pigtail this a second. I'm gonna run this to the back for the moment so we can see it. And then I will have a shedding problem if I don't fix what I just did. So because this didn't, I put a float in there and it didn't return, these warps will have a shedding issue. If you have a lot of shedding issues, I have a whole class about shedding. Keeping things in the right shed or fixing them. It's called Fixing Your Sheds. It's under, I think, well, if you need to find it and you can't, let me know. In my online program, it's under workshops. Okay, well, that'll be interesting. Let's weave this and see what happens. Oh, I don't need the shed stick for this. Actually kind of bad for your hands to use your fingernails as a tapestry fork. Although I do know of people who do it all the time. Okay, don't like that. So that's the interface problem between the double set. So I'm gonna take that out. And return one warp earlier so that that gets covered. I think that will be better. Yeah. I have the same thing here, so it may cause other trouble, which we will just fix. Okay, so here I am carrying on here. So this little part comes out farther. So, but I don't want to bring this over too much more. And now I will go back to doing the 16 EPI, and that's kind of interesting. It's hard to see because it's white. The interface there between, oh, you can actually see it better on the camera. The interface between the 16 and the 8, the little hatching there, is kind of interesting, I think. So, yeah, I think that is something. It's something. Hopefully that was somewhat interesting, this little tapestry, and the double set is always really fun. So I just saw somebody's doing a class. I think it's Jennifer Sargent. She's a master of this double set thing. And some of her pieces are just, all of her pieces are gorgeous, but she uses the double set a lot. And I think she's teaching a class in California about it coming up soon, but it might take a little digging to figure out when that is, if anyone's interested. All right. Thank you all for joining me for Change the Shed. I hope you keep weaving, do your own projects. If you're ready for a new class, join me online, and September's a fantastic time to be weaving. It's September, October, November. Anything between now and whenever our holiday plans overtake our brains. So let me know if you have questions about which is the right class. I have lots of information about that. So you can give me an email. Oh, Jessica, do we get a puppy visit? The puppies are not in here. I actually think they are sleeping at the moment. So sorry about that. I will next time see if the puppies can come and visit. They're stinky right now. They need baths. They are going to get baths today. They haven't had a bath in a very long time. So great. Thanks, you all. Okay. Thanks for visiting, and keep weaving, and I will see you somewhere online or in person very soon. Oh, Jessica, you might be in luck. Hold on. Hold on. Come here. Come here. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You're in luck, Jessica. This is Beaumont. Hi, you guys. Yeah, Datsuns are something. So there's the Beaumont. Hold on. Let me get the... And here is the Sally. And here they both are. They are doing well. They are good dogs. So there you go, Jessica. Sally says, bye-bye, keep weaving. I'm getting a bath today, and I'm going to go chase mice and get all dirty again, because she is an adolescent, and that's what she does. See y'all later, you guys. Thanks for coming. Have a really great week. Bye-bye.